Yeah, there's a 30-second delay, but
Yep.
it will start playing from where you started recording.
Yep.
Okay, so are we ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Yep.
so the time is 6:04 and I call the January 26th meeting of the Board of Selectmen to order. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Okay. Let me share my screen. Okay.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag
To the flag
United States of America,
and to the
and
republic
to the republic
for
for
which
which
it
it
stands
stands,
one nation,
one
nation,
under
God,
under God,
indivisible,
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 with liberty
liberty,
and
liberty,
and
justice
justice
and justice
for all.
for all.
Okay.
Okay. Approval of minutes.
I read the minutes and I had found one mistake that Julie took care of. I make a motion that they be approved as they were, now with the mistake fixed.
I second.
Okay, so the motion's been made by Ron and seconded by Skip to approve the minutes. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, hearing none, there, approved. Citizens' comments, I checked the emails at like 5:15 and there was nothing there, so none. Correspondence and announcements. So today, Governor Lamont announced that the state of emergency for Connecticut for the COVID-19 pandemic has been extended to April 20th. So that extends any of the executive orders that would have expired before then to go until April 20th. I received information about a land use seminar for zoning boards and commissions, and it's been passed on to all the zoning boards and commissions for them to take. It's on via Zoom and it's on Saturday, March 6th. Let's see, we received information about a grant opportunity, a national grant for funding on projects that reduce diesel emissions, and it would cover 45% of the cost of for vehicles that are, if you're switching from a diesel vehicle to a not diesel vehicle, like electric. And I think that's all. Actually, I think everything else can go under COVID. Oh, there's I wanted to, I'm gonna check. There's the drive-through food pantries. We had a couple in town in the fall from UCFS. They're only having them in Norwich for the winter. And I posted the dates on the website, on the town website, and I posted it on the Facebook page. They have, they're gonna be at the Norwich Health Center. There's one tomorrow from 2 to 3. They said they're only having them at that one location for the winter because it's really hard for them to plan for having them at different locations in the winter because of the weather. And they never know if a snowstorm's gonna hit and wherever they wanna have it's gonna be ready for them to be there, because they do a lot of them in the morning. So they do wanna come back to Voluntown, but it won't be until the spring. Because I did get some questions about that. I think that's all we got for now, because everything else is COVID related. I don't know if you guys have anything.
I don't.
I know I messed up my order of my files.
No, the only thing was on the governor's press release or conference yesterday, they did mention that they were looking that Group 1B for vaccinations is currently underway.
Yep.
And they were looking at expanding that to 65 with comorbidity next week.
Yep, that was, yep, that's true.
So
Um,
we're moving on down to the next group, and hopefully we just keep moving.
Yep. So correspondence and board and committee reports. Just wanted to add to this, the vacancies that we have for boards and commissions. I typed up a list and it's gonna go on the website and in the next newsletter. The vacancies we have right now include the Economic Development Commission. There's 3 alternate vacancies. They're two-year terms that end on 11/15/21. There's the Voluntown Sterling Transfer Station Commission. There's one alternate vacancy that ends on 12/31/21. The Inland Wetlands Commission, we have a commissioner vacancy, which is to fill a 4-year term, and that term just happens to end on 11/2/21. So those are all commissions that are to fill the vacancies are appointed by the Board of Selectmen. So anyone that's interested in those can submit a letter or an email or to the Selectman's office, which would be a Julie. And then there's also a vacancy, a commissioner vacancy on the Planning and Zoning Commission. That's to fill a 6-year term that ends on 11/18/25. And anyone interested in filling that position, it hasn't been filled yet, submits their letter of interest to Planning and Zoning. And all this information will be in the newsletter and on the website too. And that's board and committee reports. So old business, COVID-19 updates and vaccines. As Skip stated, the vaccine rollout is going on. We are officially starting 1B, which is they started with the 75 and over, and in a couple of weeks will be the 65 and over and people with other underlying conditions. Then they're going to do teachers and other essential workers, which they still haven't fully defined that yet, who qualifies as the essential workers.
And part of the issue there is they're trying to balance the vaccine availability because we haven't been getting, the state has not been receiving the vaccine in the numbers that they expected. So that kind of, they don't want to have to do what I know New York had to start canceling appointments for people, and I believe Massachusetts did as well. So people who already had appointments over 75 have had appointments canceled in the past couple of days.
Right, and the number of vaccines coming to the state has also been a determining factor of the number of vaccine locations. There are places that are approved for locations that aren't open for aren't taking appointments yet because they're waiting for more vaccines to come in to have them to put in more locations, if that makes sense.
Yes.
I know it's been hard for some of the 75 and over people to schedule an appointment that's close to our area. And I know that there have been pop-up vaccine sites that aren't showing up in the appointment area when people are looking. So I do know, for example, that there was a vaccine site in, I think it was in Groton or Ledyard, somewhere around there. And they had it at a senior center, and there were 75 appointment vacancies. And I was like, that's crazy, because I have people from around here that can't find a close by place to go. And even though Groton and Ledyard seem far, they're not far compared to the ones people are having to do in like Manchester.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of kinks in the scheduling.
So the VAMS website, and I went through this with my mom. It was my experience with this. So the VAMS website was the most difficult to find a close and near date-wise appointment. Hartford Healthcare through the My Chart application worked out significantly better for usability and in finding something close as well as something near term. And then there is also the phone number to call. And it was between all of that, there was a pop-up clinic in Jewett City, Generations, I believe.
Mhm.
So that turned out to be the closest one that was available.
Yeah, and
So.
the phone, anyone that's calling to find an appointment through the phone, the waits can be 2 hours and more in some cases. And
Yeah.
the state did just hire, I heard just hired 50 more people to staff that, but in the whole scheme of things, 50 more people is really not much to help that in the amount of people that are calling. So anyone that does call needs to be they keep saying for people to be very patient with the phone calling. So also, since for being the chair of NECOG, I ended up automatically being the co-chair of the DEMIS Region 4 Recovery Steering Committee for the COVID pandemic. The co-chairs are me, the chair of CCOG, and I'm having a mind blank. A woman from an agency, and I can't remember if she's from the UCFS or TVCCA. But she's a co-chair too. And I had 2 meetings today for this committee, one with municipal leaders and one with businesses and like arts and nonprofits. So we're basically gathering information for needs of large needs, not just individual person needs, but larger needs that have developed since COVID that are hard to meet for residents and businesses. So that has been, and this covers like everything from food to internet access to money for businesses. So it's covering a lot of areas. And we had our first meetings for they have committees. And so the first meetings of the committees was today. So trying to think if there's anything else for COVID. I think that's it. Oh, we're still, as far as our COVID levels, we've only gone down 4. I think we've gone down, so that's good. But 4 since the previous recording week. We were at 48 cases in 2 weeks, and we're currently at 44 cases. So we're still on the higher level.
And was there also one additional death?
Oh, I don't know about that.
We were sitting at 1 until this most recent report. So we are now at 2.
Okay. I didn't see that.
I believe that was the Thursday update.
All right, let me see. I have it. I was too busy looking at the numbers. I didn't even look at the. Oh, it's not on the. Oh, because I was looking at the map and it's not on the map.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah. It does say two.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, does it?
That
Yeah.
was one up until this past Thursday.
Yep. Okay. So I think all this, the information, there's information on the website at the top right-hand corner of the menu. There's a COVID-19 part on the menu. And I've been trying to put any current information up there. There's a number, I just put up there a number that people can get text alerts from the governor's office about COVID updates. There's information there about testing, about the vaccine, links to vaccine stuff. And other resources are on there as well. So that's trying to get update that as much as possible. And I think that's the COVID going on. Next on the agenda is the public safety volunteer reimbursement ordinance. Still working on this. I've been working with the fire department, with Tim, the fire department with this, and Jody. I'm also waiting to hear from the labor attorney because this involves pay changes for the reimbursements for the volunteers, and it includes changes to how they get paid, which involves payroll on our end possibly going over 50 people, putting us in a bigger business classification. Or it involves the fire department doing their own payroll. Either way, there's going to be an increase in the public safety for the budget. So I'm working with them. I did get some suggestions for the payments, but I needed them to give me more information as to how much of a difference that is to what they get now. And I'm still waiting to hear from the labor attorney about how often they can get the reimbursements, if it weekly, quarterly, or yearly. They currently are yearly right now, and they're currently paid as a contractor, but we found out that they're supposed to be W-2s. So that's where the payroll part and the employee part adds in. So waiting to hear what our options are for what we would have to do for that. But they're going to have a proposal, and I said we'll probably have a special meeting for this because the goal is to get the reimbursements for the volunteers acted on as soon as possible, because it's to be an incentive for volunteers, EMTs, to respond during COVID, and that the fee structure is increased for the overnight hours. But a lot of it just to incentivize people to respond. So that's what we're working on. It's very complicated in a way that it's going to change. It's going to change possibly how the payroll and everything works right now for it. So that's what's taking so long. So, and I want to do a special meeting because I think that it needs to be done before the next meeting. So when I have more information and hopefully have stuff we can discuss to act on, that will be happening. So
Okay.
that's why it keeps getting bumped, because it's complicated too. And we want to make sure everything's done right. So. And the ordinance has to do with, all of this goes with the ordinance, all of the pay and the structure is all linked together with the ordinance. So. Next is the town meeting and the public hearing dates. I think we were on track, Julie. I didn't even finish looking at that.
Yeah, dates should still be the same that we decided on last time. February 9th for the public hearing, February 18th for the town meeting, and then adjourn to, how do you do that? That's the piece we still have to figure out, adjourning to the drive-through vote.
Okay. So do we have to, this is what I can't remember either. Do we have to do like the call of the meeting and everything? Or we have the
Yeah.
public hearing first anyway?
Yes, I did the call today. I emailed it to you. I got some of it done. There'll be a few little changes. You need to decide on how the public will be able to comment.
Okay.
Whether they can join in the meeting in the waiting room and be let in at one at a time, or let in, or just through live stream and email comments.
For the public hearing?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm fine with doing, what do you guys think? I'm fine with letting them in.
Based on what we normally see, yes.
You can have them let in one at a time through the waiting room, and then they have to announce themselves and their road and their name and their road they live on. So you know they're Valentine residents who are commenting on it.
Okay.
Do we want to require them to have video on so that we've got that verification check as part of the verification check?
They might be calling in, that's the only thing.
Oh, okay. Yep.
We
Sorry, I
don't want
wasn't
to
even thinking
leave
about
out the
that.
call-in people, so.
Yep.
That's what's hard about the meeting part, is if people are calling in, how do you verify? But it's a public hearing, it's not actual voting or anything, so I think that would be fine.
I agree.
Okay. Now, do we have to do that before the next meeting too? We probably do.
What do you mean, do what?
Approve like the meeting call and stuff?
Meeting call, yeah, the meeting call will have to be approved.
Okay, so we can do that. At that, if we do a special meeting before, or just for that too.
Meeting call needs to be, I need to have it in the paper 5 days before.
Okay.
So the meeting call has to be approved if it's February 9th. Probably no later than February 4th. That's a Thursday, or Friday, February 5th. Oh wait, sorry, I'm wrong. I'm looking at the wrong date. So 5 days before, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I would say even Monday the 1st.
Okay. Okay.
Because you can't get it to the paper till the 2nd, and it'd go in on the 3rd. So yeah,
Okay.
to be on the safe side, it'd be on the 1st.
Okay.
Or you'd have to change the date of the public hearing.
Okay.
Which is fine if that needs to happen. We can adjust the 18th too.
Yep. Okay. Anything else from you guys on that?
Nope.
Nope.
Okay. So then we'll move on to new business. The Board of Ed 5-year facilities plan. By, I think it's a state statute. The Board of Ed has to present to the Board of Selectmen their 5-year facilities plan. So it's been submitted to us. And we should probably just acknowledge that we received it so that it's recorded that we did receive it. This is the 5-year facilities plan is like their, no, I can't even think of what the word is. Their projects.
Plan of conservation and development.
No, their projects. Their, what is it called, Julie? Their capital
Capital
projects.
improvement
plan.
plan.
Capital
That's it.
improvements. I'm like, I can't think of the
I'm
word.
blanking on it too, yeah.
Yeah, it's
VIP
their
plan.
yeah, these are the facilities plan is their capital improvement plan. The Board of Ed includes their capital improvements in their budget. So this is their plan. And I think they're included in their budget. Oh, yep. So I think all of these plans are. So I don't know if anyone has any comments on this, or we'll just acknowledge we received it and move on.
Yeah, I read through it. I've got no comments.
Okay.
Same with me. And I told Mr. Burrows, he called me this afternoon. I told him that we had it and we were going to talk about it tonight. So
Okay.
it'd still be better off to notify that,
That would
you know,
let them know.
officially.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll do. Okay. So moving on, the affordable housing plan. That was a fun read. By state statute, again, every municipality has to turn in by 2022 an affordable housing plan. They just sent that the guideline handbook. They just sent that in December. So everyone's working on this right now. It's something that we have to work on, and I'm just starting to go through the guidebook and everything, and to determine if it's something that we can do on our own, or if we're going to need help of a planner or anything. And that's so I just passed it on to you guys to look at and to know. I sent it to planning and zoning chair as well. A lot of this affects the Planning and Zoning Commission. Also, this legislative year, this is something that the legislature is looking at too, as far as bills coming up that affect the zoning and puts more control on from the town to the state on zoning regulations. Also, there's talk of legislation to make it mandatory, certain number of hours of training for planning and zoning commissioners. So, and this all relates back to the affordable housing plan. So just keeping an eye on it, because whenever the state comes up with legislation on zoning, we have to make sure whatever goes through is not a one size fits all legislation, because it doesn't usually work for small towns. They usually revolve around bigger towns. So just keeping our eyes open on what's going on. And I think that's all I have. So I don't know if you guys have anything. Or
Nothing
we-
I
I'm
can
good.
think of.
Okay. And we move into executive session.
One thing I'd like to say before that, I would like to allow Mrs. Zelinski to stay in here because she has pertinent knowledge to the executive session issue.
Okay.
So I make a motion that we adjourn to executive session and we include Julie as part of executive session.
Okay.
I
the time-
second that.
Okay, so the motion's been made by Skip to move into executive session at 6:34 and to bring Julie into the executive session. It's been seconded by Ron. So all in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, we're into, oh, any opposed? Oh, all right, so we move into executive session.
All right, hang on, let me stop I don't have the option to pause the live stream.
It'll be two different.
Right, I have
Yeah.
stop live stream view on YouTube or copy streaming, so